morning. It's been a while. In fact, it's been about a month. So it's a lovely day here in Guernsey. It's a bit noisy outside, so I might have to cut this short. Um, Not much has been happening this past month. Yeah, there's the noise. I've been concentrating. Let's close that for now. Yeah, so not much has been. I've not been doing much writing. This past month, I've been trying to settle down into my new job, which is I seem to have dropped myself. Gosh, I'm a bit bright. Let me that bit better. Yeah. I've just been concentrating on learning, all about my new job and things like that. It's been pretty hectic. I seem to have just dropped into it's summer, so it's their busy time, and they've just opened up in time for kids going on holidays from school and things like that. So it's been pretty busy. It's been very physically demanding as well. Another job that I've taken, I was complaining how my last job was so physically demanding, and this one is just the same, although this one will calm down in the next few weeks as holiday season ends. But it does make me think I should really be kinder to myself. I keep saying this, I need to be kinder to myself. I'm over 50 now. I need to slow down a bit, I think. But anyway, so I've been learning the job, and it's full time, and occasionally I'm having to work late because there's so much work to do. So I've not really had much time to write. However, I have been thinking about my next project. I did have a thought, do you know what? A new place, new job, new everything. I actually no longer have a home back in Scotland because I think they said the last one my landlord was being a nurse, basically. And now I've no house back there. So it's a new everything. I've basically been picked up from where I was and dropped here, and then that's it. Everything's new. New place, new work, new people, and all that. So I thought I'd start a new project. And I was thinking about things like the Dragon book I just submitted. I'll have to talk about that later. It was a YA, and then I was reading something. I think I follow Michelle Schusterman on YouTube, and she was saying something about middle grade and that. I think it was about middle grade and YA. I thought, I did write those middle grade sci-fi books, and I did enjoy them. So I thought, I'd like to do a fantasy one, maybe a contemporary fantasy one. And then I'm reading about it. I'm reading a book called Writing Fantastic Kidlet or something like that. I'll put an image up of it. And it's really interesting. And it went on about how, especially with boys, how in between middle grade and then going into YA, they either become rabid readers or they lose interest, and they don't usually read YA, they usually just jump to adult because YA is so heavily focused on the female reader market, which fair enough. So then I was thinking about that in between. I mean, I love to read ever since I was a child, and it was always so magical and fantastic, all these new stories and things like that. And it made me think that maybe they're the kind of stories I'd like to write and read, I should say. The ones that just, you just want to consume all the time when you're that age. So I've come up with this idea, and then I can't decide whether or not it would be upper middle grade or lower YA. I want that in between stage, maybe they're about 15, so probably that would be lower YA, the younger YA. I did think 14, but apparently 14 is a sort of dead zone for that age, because they're not really tweens and they're not really teens or something like that. So maybe not. So I'm thinking that 13 to 15 age range, so that would be considered YA. It's trying to think of the category you need, although YA is not a genre, it's a age category. So it would be YA contemporary fantasy, with probably on the younger end of the age spectrum for that. And again, it's going to be about dragons, but kind of, sort of, maybe. So I'm really looking forward to that. I've bought these. Yes, I bought more stationery. I can't help it, especially since there's the place that is just, well, they have so many stationery shops here anyway. They have a shop, I think it's Lexicon it's called, and they have a lot of Filofax stuff, and it's ones that are hard to get even through Amazon unless you want to pay like £20-25, whereas this one was just £12, and it's just one of those refillable, it's just one of those refillable notebooks, like the big one I have, the A4, and these are just the same thing, but they're A5. So these, I've got two. These are going to be my project, not planners, project journal, I would call it. I'm just going to put basically everything that I want into these, and then I will start planning it out, outlining and things like that. But at the moment, I'm going to get ready to go to so I've got 2 days off. Yesterday was quite a horrendous day at work. I didn't get finished until about 5. That was 7 in the morning to 5 o'clock. So I was quite tired, but I had a really long lie this morning. So my first day off, I'll like to try and do something. I've been to, I think I've shown on the video, been to Castle Cornet. I've also been to the museum not far here, and today I'm going to go to the Underground Military Museum, which I think will be quite interesting, because this island was occupied during World War II. There's a lot of, stuff left over from that time. So this is the Underground Military Museum I'll be going to see today, which I think will be quite interesting. Apparently it's all tunnels and things like that, so we'll see. And I'll maybe film a little bit just to show you. But anyway, I will end this one just now. Oh, do you want to see something else I bought? Paperchase. They have Paperchase here, and Paperchase is a stationery shop, but it can be quite expensive. And they had, things like this, notebooks, but these were about, I think they were tenner, but except the local pound shop had them for £1, obviously. And all I did was I took it, because it has the plastic cover that comes with it that you can take the notebook out of, like that. And all I did was I reversed the white thing, because it had a kitten or something on it, and then just put a own picture in. So for £1, I couldn't resist, and I know I shouldn't, because I don't need more notebooks, and I have to think of how I'm going to get them back home when I eventually move back. But there we go. I've got them, and I'm sure I'll be able to use them for something. So yeah, I will end this little section just now, and I will speak to you guys later. So if you remember this notebook, this is what I brought with me This is my writer's planner. And the thing is, when I thought it'd be organised and I would print out the pages that I needed before I came over, because I've not got a printer here. And I did that, and then when I opened it to finally get around to do some writing, I couldn't for the life of me remember why I printed those specific pages. They just didn't seem to work at all. So this is what I'm doing instead, because I'm an idiot and I couldn't remember. So I've kept this one, like the calendar page, and this one. So this is my monthly, and this is like the first week of August. So it's just kind of the same as what I had, but I've just written it out. I just went and bought some squared paper because I do like the squared paper. Squared paper, this is music paper, and this one is calligraphy paper, I think. I've not. So, yeah. These are just the different Facebook. This is just my general Facebook page. And YouTube, because I want to, build that up a bit more. Concentrate on some more social media. So this is Instagram. I'll just put in whatever posts I put up. Lately, it's just been a lot of what I've visited here in Guernsey. And then this, I'm not quite sure what I think I'll do. I'll put the project name I'm working on and whatever in here. And that's all. That's it. It's very simple. Just keep it nice and easy to use. Straightforward. Nothing fancy. And then try and figure out what the hell I was thinking of when I printed out all those pages. It was, for the rest of the year. And it's like, I don't know why I did it this way. I don't know what I was thinking. But there we go. So this is my weekly planner, and I will show you what I hope to be doing for my project journal as well. So I'm back from it was the Underground and Military Museum. It was really interesting because this island, as I said, was occupied during World War II. So they had a lot of, the likes of all the German uniforms and medals and badges and all the other little accoutrements they use in their uniforms. Had lots of them. You could actually buy some, memorabilia, but I'm not a big World War II fan. What you can't say fan. I'm not that interested in the World War II. I'm more of a medieval, Dark Ages period. That's what I'm mostly interested in. Funny that for a fantasy writer. But it certainly gives you an idea, because it's underground, because there's a whole tunnel structure underneath Guernsey that was used. There's also the underground hospital, but it's not open just now. I think it's being worked on. Pardon me, excuse me. That's that monster. So it's open, I think, the 20th. So I shall pop back then and see that one, because that'll be quite interesting. But anyway, it certainly gives you ideas to, story ideas. But anyway, back to writing. The book I mentioned that I was reading, it was actually Writing Irresistible Kidlit by Mary Cole. And that was going on about the joy that kids have when they're reading and they find a series that they really love and things like that, and how even back then, if you remember your own childhood, and if you're a reader, if you can remember the joy you had at finding a series that you loved. And it just took me back to that time where, I had the school library, and then on my way home I would stop in at the public library, and I always remember I'd get a couple of the Asterix, the Gaul books from my dad, like the comic books, because my dad liked them. Well, I liked them as well, but it was mainly from my dad. And then I'd get some books of my own, and it was every week you'd be getting a little pile of books. And also back then, because I lived on a farm, they had the mobile library. I'm not sure if they even exist anymore. I think they do. I'm sure I've seen it. Our main public library, like this is back home in Scotland, the main public library for the region, you always saw the mobile vans parked at the side, you know, getting ready to go out. So I think they still do have them. It did take some persuading, I remember. I think it was our neighbour that did it to persuade them to come out. But I loved the public van, the mobile library. It was great. And it was that pleasure I was thinking of when I thought, you know, instead of concentrating on books, well, maybe that upper middle grade, lower YA is where I want to be writing. At least I'll try it for now. Like I said, my dragon book that's just been put out in submission, it's an older YA. But this one I'm going to start writing is it's that funny age range in between is it upper middle grade is it upper middle grade or lower YA? So I'm going to write it in, you know, just keep writing it, see what happens, see if well, you know, you just have to keep trying. So I'm trying to look for another book that I've just found. Now, I said that I'd been following Michelle Schusterman, who is a middle grade writer. And she just did, was it Readsy? Yeah, Readsy Live. She just did a talk with them, and it was about writing middle grade. And all the things, it was interesting because she says the difference between middle grade and YA is this thing where people who want to write for adults, they seem to think if you write for children's books, it's easier because it's easier language and all that. And that's not the case. It's the elements that go in it. And she was pointing out that middle grade, what was it? They still think of their home as their like safe place, and that they always have that home life, hopefully, you know, if they're fortunate enough. It's not always the case, but their home is where their safety is, or they're looking for somewhere that is a safe home for them. Whereas in YA, they're looking to get out, away from home and see what, you know, the world can offer them, or they can offer the world. And the other one, the book, one of the books that she mentioned was great for that was this one as well, The Magic Words by a Cheryl B. Klein. And the way she puts it, MG, middle grade, is when you're just finding your place in the world. And YA is when you're trying to make change in the world. So I thought those were quite good concepts to understand. So yeah, it's not a case of because it's for children or younger readers, it's easier to write. These things aren't. In fact, I think they're harder because you have to think of, as writers, as we're adults, so we're thinking of it as an adult would, but then you have to think of writing it so it's understandable in terms of maybe a younger person who doesn't have your life experience would understand, but not talk down to them or lecture them or patronise them, things like that. So yeah, much more difficult. So anyway, like I mentioned, I've got these books. I'm going to be using this as my project journal. It's not really a planner. I keep wanting to call it a planner, but it's not really a planner. I'll just have everything in here for my characters and all the things like that. So I'll show you how I've set it up in a moment. So this is what I'm going to use for my project journal. I'll keep all the details of the project in here, you know, like the characters, story threads, chapter outlines, everything like that. So I'll just give you a quick, I've only just set it up, so it's not got too much in it just now, but if we open it up, and this is like the Filofax refillable notebooks. You've seen the one that's my writer's planner, it's the A4, and this is obviously A5. So here we have, it's just, this is an overview of what it's going to be, and it's going to be a contemporary fantasy. The age range is 9 to 13, so it's upper middle grade. Remember I said I wasn't sure if it's upper middle grade or lower YA. We'll figure that out later, but at the moment that's the age range readers. For readers I'm going for. The title I don't know yet, and this will be the premise of it. This is for my characters, and I've just sectioned. If I need more, then obviously I can just add more pages. But at the moment, I think I've got 3 main protagonists, but I might cut that down to 2. I'll see how it goes. And these are just the scenes, just little snippets of the scenes that I want in there. Title ideas, and this will be, because this will hopefully be a series, you know, there's more than just one book to think of, so hopefully. Chapter outlines, and you can see all I've done is just add washi and just wrote it. So chapter outlines there, and that's all I've got for that bit so far. This is when I've just starting draft 1, so there's things, you know, that I need to get in order beforehand. Maybe I need to research something, or, you know, stuff like that. So that's that. And then it's just the chapters tracker. So when I've finished, I'm thinking up to 24 chapters. So when I've finished a chapter, I'll just fill these in. Or I was thinking maybe just put a star, you know, a gold star or something like that, or maybe even just like a quick little note if I can write small enough. And this one is my scenes tracker. So that's it. It's just very quick and simple, and I can just keep doing this, you know, adding notes. And this one back, this here, this will just be brainstorming notes for whatever I come up with, because I can put this in my bag and just carry it with me. But yeah, this is just as I've written the scenes, I can just, again, colour in or put a star or something like that. I'll see what I'm thinking of. But that's it. It's very quick and simple. And hopefully it will keep me on track for this book that I'm writing, this children's book. So now that you've seen them, I could just tell that I am, after a month of being here, I'm finally getting back into writing. It's this weirdest thing, I think I mentioned earlier, I'm not sure, I can't remember, that I no longer have a home back in Scotland, because remember I said my landlord was being an arse, and that house is gone now. Where where the majority of my children's childhood was, we're no longer in that house or able to live there. So when I go back, I'm going to have to find somewhere brand new to stay. It's a bit of a, it's a weird feeling, that I know, like, this is it, this room is everything I have just now. All my stuff is back home in storage, and I'm trying not to worry about all the fact that all my stationery stuff and all my books are now in a great big metal box, and that they'll be said it's waterproof and it is double walled, so it shouldn't get condensation inside. But then as soon as somebody mentioned that, oh, you might want to, you know, move things away from the walls and sort of thing, that's all I can think is I'm going to go back and all my books will be ruined and all my stationery and everything. So I'm trying not to do that. So yeah, it's weird thinking that even if I wanted to, I couldn't go back home next week because I have no home to go back to. So I will be here for a while. Although, you know, that was the plan coming over. But I don't think I'll be here as long as I first thought I would be. Not at the moment anyway. I mean, I've only been here a month. It might change. It's lovely. It's a beautiful island. It's got lots of history, which I've only just scratched the surface of. But it's also very small. And no real countryside, which has thrown me for a loop, really. You know, especially when you've come from such a rural area like I was in, where you could just, you know, there's woods and everything. We do have lovely beaches, as you've seen in some of my vlogs. And just to come here, and it's like, even when you're travelling along the bus to go to another town, there's no line to say that this is the end of this town and then this is the start of this next town. It's just, you just keep going along in the bus and it's just houses all the time. There's no line between. So that's kind of thrown me as well. But yeah, I mean, I can't fault the experience because it certainly pulled me out of the rut I was in. It's like a new start for everything. Work, my writing, life in general, everything. So yeah, I can't fault it for that. It's done the trick. The last month it seemed to drag past, and I think that was because I was worrying about how my daughter was getting on back home, because she was left to like clear the house. My son helped, kind of. But she did the majority of the work. Plus, she had to try and find somewhere for herself to stay as well. So I was kind of worried about her as well. But anyway, that's over and done with. That's it. Everything's sorted. Everything's finalised. I'm here for the foreseeable future until I can save some money, and then I can go back home and find somewhere back there and a new job, hopefully. But like I say, I've only been here a month. Things could change. I could say that it was like, it's nice here, but I think I prefer being back home. And then next month I could say, right, this amazing thing's happened and I've changed my mind, I'm going to live here forever. You know, you never know. It's just the way life goes. Anyway, I've rambled on enough. I'm going to get on with some more planning. I'm hopefully going to start. It seems I have working full time. Well, I say the job I had before basically had all my work done in the 3 nights, and then the rest of the time was mine, even though it was tiring. This one is, you know, full time, so it's 5 full days. And then I've got a couple of days off, and the days off always seem, lately anyway, to fall on the Tuesday, Wednesday. So I might be able to start doing a live stream again on a Wednesday maybe, or at least have a video out maybe every Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll see how things go. Anyway, please leave a comment down below. Let me tell you if you've had any horror stories of landlords, you know, kicking you out your home. That sort of thing. Please leave a comment, subscribe, notification bell, all those sort of things, and I will speak to you soon. Okay, bye.